Kia ora. It is day 11 of taking action with Nate. Today is Wednesday and it's like 9:30 in the morning. Woke up like 6 o'clock and just been resting really. I went back to bed and was talking to my dad in the morning and decided to get up a bit later. We've got a couple of errands to do. We still haven't had breakfast yet, so we're gonna have some breakfast soon and head out, do some laundry, do some errands. I've got a couple of ideas that I've been thinking about over the night, and I'll be posting something on LinkedIn today about this whole journey and about building my brand, my personal brand online. So kind of exciting and scary at the same time, because it's one thing to make a declaration on YouTube where nobody's really watching you, but it's another entirely to kind of stand in the digital space of LinkedIn, where it's like, I guess I've thought of it only as one way, and I hardly post there at all. I think I've done like 1 or 2 posts, one of my redundancy basically to get a job, and then another like cryptical one about my situation. So I've been meaning to do something on there just to like let some of my network know what's going on, and could potentially end up funneling some of them to this channel. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, watch the space. Scary, exciting, trying to take action, trying to be better every day, trying to not get overwhelmed and paralyzed by the size and scope of the things that I want to achieve in my life. Sorry, 1 second. Hello, can I help you? Come for a kororo. Yeah, so we're gonna have breakfast soon and kick off the day's activities, and then I'll probably do another update midday and then maybe another one at night. Cheers, see you later. Kia ora. It's Nate, just a midday update. It is just before 1 o'clock. Just headed out to do laundry. So I've had breakfast, which was oats. It's like 2 eggs and 90 grams of oats with 2 to 3 spoons of Greek yogurt and 1 big spoon of crunchy peanut butter. It was really good. Really good. The funny thing is I'm still hungry, so I need to figure that out. I'll probably have, that was a late breakfast to be honest, so I am due for lunch soon, so I'll probably eat something. But I spoke this morning about a post that I was going to do on LinkedIn, and I just did it not too long ago, and I was pretty terrified about pushing the send the post button, because I don't know, I guess there's just something about LinkedIn where it's like, this feels easy, this feels safe. LinkedIn is kind of like, it's a bit scary because there's a lot of professionals on there, and there's a lot of people that know you from work, and there's just a lot of people that kind of know you in your circle, and some of them might be just watching for the sake of watching, don't really care, kind of watch as entertainment. There's a lot of people who kind of stalk pages and watch things and read things and might not actually care enough to help support you or help encourage you. But then on the flip side, LinkedIn is probably arguably one of the better or best places to connect with people in your network that you've been wanting to connect with, because I know that I've got a few people in there that I started conversations with last year, and I wanted to continue some of those conversations, but then I went into hospital, and since coming out of hospital I haven't come to terms with where I'm at. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna do another post. Basically today I committed to this journey, this 10-year journey that I'm on, and I also committed to doing a single post on LinkedIn. One idea, one post, 300 to 500 words, one call to action before 9 o'clock every morning. So now I have to keep my word, and then I also have to do these videos. So should be interesting. Should also be interesting who views that, what they say, if anything, because I did leave a call to action, like what seeds are you planting that you plan to water for the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years? And because there's some seeds that I plan to plant or to continue watering over the next couple of days, next couple of years I should say, or 10 years. But yeah, I kind of made some public declarations and some public statements about some of the things that I want to try and achieve in the next 10 years. And that's both scary, terrifying, and exciting. And I guess it all came from last night. I discovered this person that I think I referenced in the morning video. She was 18 when she started documenting her money journey, and I think she's now 21 or in her 20s. She is publishing a personal finance book. She's Māori. I think her name is Te Kahukura, and she's known as the Māori Millionaire. It was just really inspiring. There was a lot of things that I was reading on her website, on her page, that really resonated with me, and it kind of inspired me to take action, even more so than I was probably intending to be honest. But I think I said this the other day, but it's interesting how when you start to ask different questions of the universe, you start to see different answers. So I'm definitely seeing that. You know, I mentioned that I got a phone call the other day from a friend that I hadn't spoken with for months. And I was kind of thinking about them for a few days, for a while actually. And then I also had this idea that I wanted to expand my network, and then, you know, he kind of offered an opportunity to do that. So it's almost like be careful what you wish for, because it'll come and you might not be ready. And I guess the thing that I'm trying to share with this series is that it doesn't matter if you're ready, because 9 times out of 10 you're never ready. You can't predict what's coming around the corner. All you can do is to try and strengthen yourself, whether that's your mental state, your values, reinforce who you are, what you believe in. You know, this is a lot more than just losing weight. I know that's the genesis of this stuff, because I attach a lot of my misgivings to my physical health and well-being, but it's much more important than just losing weight, becoming fitter, getting 6-pack of abs. You know, it's about essentially becoming the best version of myself. For me, it's about becoming a Māori superhero, and that means something to me. That may not resonate with anyone, and that's okay. We can all become our own superheroes, I suppose. You know, I want to be an author, I want to write books, I want to do public speaking, I want to mentor and coach others, I want to grow my own business and build my own brand, and there's so many things that I want to do, and I need to stop thinking and just start doing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing record, I'm just talking raw and unedited, you know, just a stream of consciousness, which would be perfect for a podcast. And I have thought about doing a podcast, I haven't really figured out what to call it just yet. I do have a couple of ideas, but this is early stages. This is the journey. This is what it looks like. It looks messy, it looks unstructured, and it's not meant to be perfect. It's not meant to be easy, because I think at the end of the day we have to ask ourselves the really hard question: are we willing to pay the cost of what it is that we actually want? And I think I'm ready. I think I'm willing. I need to get rid of the think part, and I need to say with, you know, 100% conviction that I am ready. Obviously there's something plaguing me still, and I need to work through that. So anyway, this was only meant to be a short midday update. I can see the timer's about to hit 8 minutes, so I'll stop here. I'm due to have lunch soon, and I'll do a evening update later today, and we'll see how the day unfolds and whether or not the post gets any interest at all. See you later. Cheers. Kia ora. It is just after 9 o'clock in the evening, and yeah, I was just rewatching my videos because I completely forgot about whatever it is that I talked about today. This whole day has felt like a massive blur. So much has happened, and I've been a little bit overwhelmed, to be quite honest. So the last thing I remember saying was basically I had just published the post on LinkedIn, and I was curious how the day would unfold and whatever the response was, and within like 30 minutes to an hour, I already got some responses, and I was kind of surprised. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't think that way. It's not an empowering way to think. I should think more positively. But it was really heartwarming. And I know it's not even been that long. I really need to let the post kind of breathe and get more impressions. But there's already like 100 plus impressions on it, lots of reactions and comments from a few people that, yeah, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this stuff would happen before I did it, because I probably would have done something like this a lot sooner. And I think that's the problem, is that we often think things are harder than they actually are. We think things are worse than they actually are. And I have a little bit of experience of this from my time in Toastmasters. So for anyone who doesn't know what Toastmasters is, it's basically a non-profit organization that started in the United States, and it's all about public speaking. So there's clubs that get together sometimes weekly, fortnightly, monthly, and it's basically a group of strangers who get together. They have a common goal. They all want to develop confidence in their public speaking, and they spend about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and you learn speeches. You know, there's all these roles. The Toastmaster, you have like three or four speeches in a meeting, then each speaker has an evaluator, and there's table topics, and then there's like a timekeeper who keeps track of time, and there's all these different roles. R counter who counts filler words, which is really good. It's one of the things that I kind of regret. Oops. 1 second. This is the problem when you record in the car. Oh my gosh, where's the light? Fail. Massive fail. Damn. I don't know what to do. Okay, let me open the door. Wow. My brain's not working. My light obviously turned off. So what was I saying? Oh yes, Toastmasters. So R counter. One of the things that I kind of regret about, oh my gosh. One of the things that I kind of regret about going to Toastmasters for is that once you pay attention to filler words, you almost can't unhear it. So, for example, when I listen to the news, I don't really watch the news or listen to the news, but you catch every single, even in everyday speak, and it's so annoying. And we all have our individual crutch words, words that we rely on, we say often. Some people is like, some people is literally, some people is like, and it's really just a mental filler. It's a thing that we rely on because we're afraid of pausing. We're afraid of the awkward silence. It's actually more potent, impactful, and powerful to just pause, to collect your thoughts, to try to compose what you want to say, rather than always filling it with filler words. Anyway, that's an aside. What the heck was I talking about? See, this is the problem when you don't have a script or you just do this raw and unedited. It gets a bit messy. That's kind of the whole point of this, right? It's about starting messy. So what on earth was I talking about? My goodness. I've had a brain fart. So what was I talking about? I was talking about, wow. Okay, so how the day unfolded. So it's been a long day. I talked about a post on LinkedIn. I did the post. I got a bunch of reactions. It kind of warmed my heart. And I guess what I was trying to get at was, why are we so afraid of things that we don't even know to be true? I've read a lot of stuff on this, and it's still one of the things that kind of surprises me, I guess. It's like, as much as we know, it's just really hard to do. It's really hard to push past some of those thoughts, disempowering thoughts, negative thoughts, things where you prejudge or pre-qualify, or you have a tendency to think, oh, it's not going to be that great, or you basically create this story in your head that something's going to happen, and it doesn't happen. It's often never that bad. So I just wish that we could foster and cultivate a feeling of it's okay to fail, it's okay to be real. Like, even the statement, I was watching the video from this morning, and when I saw myself and I was listening to the words that I was saying, and I was almost like disqualifying myself from doing whatever I wanted to do because I was worried about what other people would say or think, because I kind of put LinkedIn on this pedestal of, oh, but it's people that I've worked with, and they might feel this, and it's like, it doesn't really matter. So what? I was hesitant about sharing this because I was worried that a whole bunch of people would flock over, and I foolishly said, oh, LinkedIn feels safer because no one's watching. But YouTube is a massive platform that can change in a heartbeat. I mean, yeah, my content's not that great at the moment, so people will probably see this and then click away straight away. But yeah, it was foolish thinking, and I guess, man, this is going to be a long video. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I was scared, I was terrified, I was frightened of what might happen when I made that declaration on my LinkedIn profile. And then when I actually did it, and I let it, I went away and did what I was doing today, and kind of checked it later, I was like, wow, it wasn't that bad. You know, it kind of surprised me. I think that's the thing. It's like, I couldn't have possibly predicted who would have responded, how they would have responded, when they would have responded. So there's like this level of futility in worrying about it. It's like, what's the point? Just do it. Because you might be surprised with the ripple effect that it creates and the momentum that is generated. And basically from that one post, it started a chain reaction of, I kind of just sat on LinkedIn, which is unhealthy because I sat on there for a wee while and, you know, started browsing and finding other posts to comment on, and it wasn't the most productive use of my time, to be honest. And I've also started noticing that the days I'm starting to lose my well-worn routine. Like, I've worked a really long time on developing a solid routine. And with the week that we've had, you know, last week was graduation prep. This week is interview prep. Time just disappears, and then we have like errands and appointments in between because there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's like I almost never have time for things that I want to work on. So I'm really busy, but I just feel like I'm not always achieving a lot. And then I also think about all of the goals that I'm trying to achieve, and this is kind of the crux of the challenge that I have. It's almost like I hate to say this, but it's almost like I've set myself up to fail because I've tried to commit to a 10-year journey. Like, I couldn't have possibly predicted what the outcome of a single post would be. So if I can't predict that, and I was completely wrong about whatever might have happened, how on earth can I even presume to think what the next month, let alone year, let alone 3, 5, 10 years will be? So I'm just like, crap, what have I got myself into? But then it's like, am I already sabotaging myself? I said I would do this. I've committed to it. I've got a post on LinkedIn. Now I've committed to something else. It's like, sometimes I honestly feel like I can't stop, but what was I going to say? I can't help but sabotage myself or overburden myself. Like, I have always had a tendency to overcommit, and that leads to burnout. And I know this firsthand when I joined Toastmasters and I went 5 years straight, and I was just, I was doing everything. I was, a member of multiple clubs. I was mentoring like 6 different people. I was doing speech contests. I was organizing speech contests. I was doing a lot on top of my day job. And it just got to a point where I was just completely burnt out, and it's like I'm heading in that same direction. I went to a hospital because I burnt myself out. That's one way that I view it. Like, so it's almost like I need to throttle back a little bit my intensity and my kind of compulsive behavior or compulsive tendencies to just like go all in, because I kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I sometimes overcommit, and I'm like a massive overachiever. It's not even funny sometimes. I think it's like a curse, but it's like I'm always unsatisfied with my results, which is not, I don't think that's healthy. But I think it's also necessary, because otherwise you kind of end up complacent and you settle for what you have. And I really do not want to live a mediocre life. People have always told me that I have so much potential, and maybe that's just something that people say, but like it's really hard for me to kind of look at my life sometimes and think, man, what have I done? What have I done with my life? What have I achieved? What influence? Like, I was actually putting together an idea for another video, which I don't know when I'm going to do it or how I'm going to do it. But I was basically looking at my LinkedIn profile, and I started thinking about this chain of thought about money and how much money I've made in my career. And I remember that I actually started putting salary amounts, and then as I started filling it out this afternoon, so that happened. I ran out of space, so I have just deleted some videos, and I better quickly wrap this up. Basically, what I was trying to say is I have thought of a video idea where I will be talking about how much money I've made in my career thus far, and reflecting on, if only I had known what I know now. Basically, if I could tell my younger self, my 10-year younger self, a few things, this is what I would tell myself. So that's going to be a really interesting video. There's a lot of interesting findings. I'm probably going to put that on LinkedIn. It's going to be public, transparent, open. It'll hopefully generate an interesting kōrero about the taboo, kind of tapu nature of talking about money, especially as Māori. We don't talk about money. I don't really know why. But anyway, that's enough for tonight. It's been a heck of a day. I could not have predicted any of this would happen. And I'm grateful. I'm tired. And it's probably time to go to sleep very soon. And on that note, ka kite anō. I will see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place. Start messing with me. You got this. Cheers.